Ladies and gentlemen, I have returned, and today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. Now, as I'm sure all of you are aware, a couple months ago, a YouTuber by the name of CallMeCarson was cancelled for having a inappropriate interaction with a minor, in which there were certain birthday suit pictures that were exchanged. Now, I made a video about this because everyone was calling him a groomer when that's literally not what he was, because of the simple fact that him and the girl were literally 2 years apart. She was 17 and he was 19. So while what he was doing was technically against the law, it wasn't exactly morally wrong, because a 2-year age gap is very normal in today's society. And I'm sure most of the people watching this video have been in some sort of engagement with somebody who was 2 years younger than them or older than them at some point. Cause nigga, I'm 17 years old and I can tell you, bro, there was this one 19-year-old girl I was dealing with, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, we're not gonna get into that though. The topic of this conversation is exploring why CallMeCarson got cancelled harder than EDP445, even though EDP's crime was much more severe. No, I originally got this idea because I was just minding my own business yesterday and I saw this tweet coming from this YouTuber named Turkey Tom that essentially said the same thing. It's crazy how CallMeCarson got cancelled harder than EDP. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, how the heck did CallMeCarson get cancelled harder than EDP? Carson still has his channel, Carson still has people supporting him. The thing with that is, all of Carson's friends unfriended him, were threatening to call the FBI on him, he lost hundreds of thousands of subscribers, was getting all types of people talking about how disappointed they were in him, people calling the people who defended him creeps even though it was just a 2-year age gap. All types of stuff were going on with Carson's situation. However, I don't know if I'm the only one who notices it, but it really just feels like people are treating this whole EDP situation like one big meme. Like, there are so many memes that have come out of that video of EDP getting caught that it doesn't even really feel like many people are taking this seriously. And I think that's pretty clear by the fact that nobody's really trying to get this man in jail. He's free right now. He just came off the internet and we're probably never going to hear from him again. So I have come up with a list of reasons why EDP is not getting cancelled as hard as Carson was, or at least in my opinion. And there's one main reason in my opinion, but I'm gonna save that for the last one. But the first reason I'm going to list is the simple fact that Carson had much more mainstream attention on him than EDP did. Now, you might be saying, oh, EDP was more famous than Carson because EDP's memes have been around the place for a lot longer and blah blah blah. Yes, EDP has been on the platform for like 10 plus years or however the heck long, while Carson might be a newer face, but let's be flipping real here. Just because you see somebody's face in a meme compilation does not mean you know who they are or find their channel or subscribe to them in any way. All of the people who saw EDP, I'm sure he's only a fraction of those people actually ended up subscribing to him. With that being said, I feel like more people know who Carson is just because of the size of his platform and the YouTubers he collaborated with, etc. EDP's fanbase was more like a cult of people who came from the meme community, which generally speaking is just people who are not offended by really anything. EDP's fanbase was like a cult, while Carson's fanbase was more, I'm sure it was like a more broad general audience because there were just more people in there. And the more mainstream you get is the more kind of watered down your fanbase is going to be. Because while you still have your cult followers, you're just going to have a lot more people who only watch you casually. But this brings me to my next point, the fan bases of the two creators. Let's think about this for a second. Who is the average viewer of EDP445's channel? Well, EDP's success mainly came from memes, so as I said, most of the people who watch him are going to be from that meme community. Now, EDP's humor is very edgy. He makes a lot of jokes that are dark humor related. He says a lot of slurs in his videos. He's very crass, very crude, and the type of people who are into that stuff are usually not easily offended or really get offended at anything. These are the types of people who will see a situation like George Floyd or 9/11 or World War II or anything that's supposed to be serious to the public eye and make memes about it. The people who don't really take anything too seriously, and I think I'm actually one of these types of people, seeing as the fact that I have a literal freaking commentary channel. But anyways, with that being said, it's not really that far of like a far-fetched thing to think that a fan base of this type of people would see that this guy is getting exposed for this and just make memes about it. Like literally, I don't know if you guys have been looking in your recommended, but every 3 seconds I see a new 5-second long EDP video with like 500k views of somebody memeing the fact that he's going to jail, or you know, oh, EDP comes to my house to get a cupcake. They all go viral because everyone's just tuning into the memes. They're just funny. Well, who is the average viewer of the CallMeCarson channel now? Well, Carson was a Minecraft YouTuber or whatever the heck else he did, and he had a very young audience. With these young people comes a lot of people who not only are soft on the inside, but are very easily influenced and don't really have the mental capacity to form their own opinions yet, which is why most of them just go along with whatever the mainstream view of things is. With that being said, these are the types of people who will say you're a bad person because you made a joke 5 years ago. These are the exact type of people who fuel cancel culture. So the average CallMeCarson fan is most likely one of those kids with the freaking K-pop profile pictures and the she/her in the bio on Twitter calling you homophobic because of a joke that you made 3 freaking years ago about some character in a show. With that being said, it's quite clear to me that these people are on completely different ends of the spectrum. These are the two types of people on Twitter right now who are literally at war to the death at each other's necks. The dark humor edgelords versus the snowflake Twitter liberals who try to cancel everybody. Both different forms of cancer in their own right. But the difference with one of those types of cancers is that it actually can affect the person who's carrying it. You see, when you build up a fan base of snowflakes, best believe they're the first ones who will turn on you when you do it. Imagine you were a straight guy who built up a fan base for canceling people for being homophobic, and then one day some screenshots got exposed of you from 2 years ago saying the F word. Best believe all of your subscribers would vanish instantaneously. Now imagine somebody like EDP445 saying the F word today. Nobody would care. Carson's fanbase would turn on him immediately once he stops being the goody two-shoes they perceive him to be, while EDP's fanbase already accepts all of his bad stuff and they don't care because they just find that funny. And does that mean that they accept his pedophilia just because they accept his dark humor? Absolutely not. Like, many people have unsubscribed from him, including me. Although I never subscribed to him, but I just meant to say I don't respect him anymore. But you'd be kind of delusional to think that somebody who is just generally a more easily offended person isn't going to take this situation a lot more serious than somebody who, yeah, will acknowledge it's bad, but generally just doesn't really take many things seriously to begin with. Carson's fanbase is used to calling people racist, homophobic, misogynist every single day, while EDP's fanbase will acknowledge that his actions are bad, but they don't really care to go the extra mile to do this extra stuff on Twitter or whatever. They don't really care. They'd rather sit back and make a joke out of it because that's their personality. And that brings me to my next point, which is the reputation of these two creators. EDP's reputation was the dark humor thing, his edgy personality. Carson's reputation was this child-friendly YouTuber who played flipping Minecraft, for crying out loud. It was like a Lion Maker situation all over again, even though Carson didn't even go for literal children. EDP did. And so the reputation factor played a huge role because of the simple fact that people were just so much more surprised when they heard CallMeCarson involved with something like this than they were with EDP. Which brings me to my final point of what I think the main reason was why EDP is not getting cancelled as hard as he should be getting. Now, when I first saw that notification on my phone saying EDP was exposed for being a pedophile, and I rushed to my computer screen to make a video to milk that sweet ad revenue and suckle on the nipples of YouTube clout, which thank you very much, by the way, because I got 125k views on that video. I don't know about y'all, but when I saw that notification, I really was not surprised. I just wasn't. Like, I was like, oh damn, he a pedophile? That's crazy. Why? Because he's been accused of this before. He literally has been getting accused of this. So when it actually came out that it was true, it wasn't really surprising because we've been suspected him from a long time ago. It's like, yo, if somebody keeps getting accused of something over and over and over again, you might not have proof to say that they did it, but chances are they're probably not innocent of the whole thing, because let's be flipping real here. Yeah, anybody can find themselves with one accusation, but when it keeps happening over and over and over and over again, dog, something must be up, bro. It's just, it's a pattern. Patterns like this do not follow normal people. So really and truly, dog, I feel like it was kind of already in everybody's heads to kind of expect this. I wasn't surprised when it came out. Especially with that one video he made that I covered already, where he was calling minor, like 15, 16-year-old girls sluts and all this other type of stuff, saying if they dress a certain way, then they shouldn't turn around and call guys like him creeps when they give attention to them. Even though I was like, yo, just because they look like they're craving dick doesn't mean you have to be the one to give them. Like, why do you even want to give that dick to a 15-year-old, bro? Why do you want to do that in the first place? But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Carson was getting cancelled harder than EDP? Let me flipping know. Share your opinions in those comments and share your opinions on the rating. That's right, as I always say, if you did not enjoy this video, remember to slap that dislike button in the face. But of course, if you did genuinely enjoy this video, remember to punch that like button in the face till it turns blue like your name is Chris Breezy, and do the same with the subscribe button till it turns gray. And of course, guys, as always, it's been your boy John, and you are now leaving my mind.